going to press this button of recording. Thank you for agreeing to that. Okay, so I'm going to start. Well, no, it's just the pleasure, me and you.
These are the
All
best
right.
ones. These are the
So
best ones.
if we when I was going to start with this question, what would what does the word reading or reading mode mean to you as a teacher or to your learners, as students?
Mhm. Yeah, so for me as a teacher, reading is the main way to improve my students' skills, not
Okay,
only in reading, but also in speaking.
okay,
So I have my own way of analyzing live
yeah,
when a student reads. I highlight mispronounced words.
yes, yeah,
So it's always the same way he or she reads, I know, a sentence or a paragraph,
mm,
and I go through the mispronounced words, and I write the right pronunciation using the Polish letters.
okay,
And then we translate
yeah,
the sense or the text, because I need to make sure that they know what they read. Yeah, sometimes people read, pronounce everything fine, but
yeah,
they don't know the meaning.
yes.
So it's always like this. Yeah, and
That's good because
no,
and I think uh, we share almost the same experience because in
mm,
my experience with the adult learners, most of them think, and even teachers for that matter, they think that reading is a boring mode, which I don't
ah,
blame
okay,
them
that's
because
interesting. I've
yeah,
never heard
but
that.
it all depends on the way teachers present or teach.
That's for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
this
mean,
thing.
my students like the way I present
So
everything.
that's positive.
Mm.
Now, my question, I mean, if we had a larger group, was going to be, how can we turn this boring mode into a lively one, or at least not a boring mode? So if we think of or think about the other three modes, the speaking, the listening, and the writing, in my experience, they are very concise. So when you are teaching speaking and listening, we focus on discussions, interviews, questions and answers, listening to other people, responding. We focus on the tone of voice, intonation, accents, and even the body language. And there are much more stuff to that. When we teach in the writing, so basically we're focusing on the spelling of the words and grammar and the structure. However, reading actually links in my experience and the experience of other colleagues, links all these practices. So to reach the the final phase of reading a word, a sentence, then a text, both the teaching and the learning practices go through the modes above.
Mm.
So to reach reading, we have to go through the speaking, the listening, the speaking, and the writing. So for this, I have, well, not prepared, but I have, um, can you see my,
Yeah, I can.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
I
A
have
flower.
prepared something. Well, this is the first picture.
Don't ask me what flower it is, because I don't
It's okay.
know
I'll
flowers.
ask you later. I have prepared, I haven't prepared, I have done it before, and I thought this is for an entry two. Can you see what I'm sharing now?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Entry
This
to.
is an entry two reading comprehension session. And usually this is not the best practice, but I find it, and when I shared it with my fellow teachers and the teachers
Mhm.
I look after, they find it very, I don't want to say easy, but very manageable, and
Mhm.
the learners manage it. So, well, obviously, we start with the learning objectives for this particular lesson. By the end of the session, the learners would have practiced their reading and talked about journeys they take up. This is just an example. So as a teacher, I would have had a text, and the learners didn't see the text. So I would first collect and pick out the necessary vocabulary items and put them all here, and we
Mhm.
go through them. So, I mean, this is just an example, like I said, because the session was about traveling, meeting friends all over the UK. So, just random questions, but they have to be related to the text that I have prepared. So, for example, I said the capital of Cardiff. I don't even have to ask questions, just
Mhm.
something like that. And if they know, they would say, what's the capital of the capital of Cardiff? London is, the capital of England. Now, if you are from Poland, and you might ask me, what's that to do with Poland? But because in the text, they talk about
Mhm.
Poland, and there's a Polish friend. And the reason why I've done this sort of um, a conditional question, because within the reading text, I wanted them to make the difference between Poland, the adjective Polish, and the verb to polish.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
that's
have
like
it all the
five.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is why I consider the reading actually as the link, the, the mode that links all the other modes, because you can do a lot. They are speaking, they are practicing, they are doing some grammar, they are looking at the spelling of words, and then they reach the final stage of the reading. So if you are from Poland, you are Polish, you are Polish. Yeah, yeah. Why did you write Polish or Polish twice? Okay, so we have a discussion,
Mhm. Mhm.
about Polish and Polish.
No.
Yeah, so it's all there. How do you call this building? Well, if they know, they know. If they don't know, that's fine. But then we've got the word here, because again, all these vocabulary items are included in the text that they will read in the final stage. And within the word castle, we've got a silent letter. So it's I find the reading, if we get the knack of it, of this mode, it's actually fantastic. It's a fantastic experience for the adult learners or the youngsters, primary, middle school, or to practice the language. So this would be my introduction, and obviously, which would take probably half of the lesson, whether it's 2 hour lesson or 3 or 1, because we do have to go through all the vocabulary items that I have collected from a particular text. And like I said, this is just an example. And you can see here we even tackle the plural, whether it's just a simple plural adding an S, or
Mhm.
the irregular plural where you change the Y completely into an IES. So, how can the reading be a boring mode? This is the question that I would ask teachers, because I did have that many times. No, it's a boring mode. Yeah, because all what you think about is that it's a reading text, but it's not actually just a reading text. Anyway, so once we have done all this, and we've got here live, and it can be read as live or lives or lives, leave and life. So we go through all the structural grammatical aspects of this, plural and singular, regular, irregular, silent letters, C and S, the O and O, nationalities, spelling. Why is this word in It says to me that we've got 10 minutes, you see. But so if we get this, we just log in. Yeah, it's the same link. So, and after this, once we finish all this sort of beautiful long introduction, we have another option of, introducing the map, considering that the topic is about means of transport and traveling. And before I move to the text, I actually have the listening of the text ready. So I'm dealing within the reading mode, I'm dealing with the listening. So for me now to do the listening, I have to stop sharing this and just go to this. Okay. And I'll share the sound. Okay. Are you okay? Can you see that?
Yeah.
So I've got the written text that they will see later as a reading text is an audible text first. So
my name's Dave. I'm English and I live in the
Can you hear
UK
me?
or United
It's
Kingdom.
good. Okay.
There are 4 different countries in the UK: England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. I'm English, but I live in Wales. The capital of Wales is Cardiff, but I live in Swansea. I'm learning to speak Welsh, but it's very difficult. I have friends all around the UK. I visit them every year. First, I cross the Irish Sea to visit Robert in Northern Ireland. He's Polish and his wife Nora is Irish. The capital of Northern Ireland is Belfast. They live here. I like visiting castles with them. Next, I travel to Scotland to see Kirsty and her husband Rajesh. She's Scottish and he's Indian. The capital of Scotland is Edinburgh. They live in Aberdeen. We go for walks in the mountains. Then I travel to England to visit Alex. He's Welsh. The capital of England is London. Alex lives in Manchester, in the city. I'm from Manchester, so I know it very well. It's a great city for music and football. We go to watch football together. My friends also come to visit me in Wales. I cook Welsh cakes for them. And we go to the beach. We're great friends and we love visiting each other. Next year, we're going to meet in Poland or India.
Okay. All right. So, obviously by, let me just share the other stuff. I think we've got, yeah, what was that? Yeah. Okay. So obviously by reading, but by listening to the recording many times, we would go back to our main vocabulary. After they had listened 3 to 4 times, as long as it takes, for me, it doesn't bother me at all, as long as they benefit from the listening. They would have generated most of the vocabulary items they have seen at the starter. And at this point, I can introduce the text of the reading text. And now again, this reading, can you see the text?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, let's go.
So this is before reaching the final stage of reading the listening text. I actually put some gaps there. And they listen again. I'll go back to my listening. So they are reading, they're listening, they are reading, and they are writing. So I'm doing the 3 modes in one. Yes. Again, as long as it takes, 2, 3, 4 times. And the final stage is the actual reading, where I present them with the actual text. and this is exactly what they have listened to.
Mhm.
So with the final text, it's listening, and that's to the final check-in of the vocabulary. It's the correction, and it's also the spelling. They can check their spelling here. So, you know, this procedure is for an entry 2 learners, which who have you know, a good repertoire of the English language, but they're not really it's a good ability, but they're not, you know, top. They're not excellent, so they are still learning. But again, it can be modified, it can be upgraded, and you can lower the amount of vocabulary that suits the an entry 1 or a pre-entry or an entry 3, or, you know, even a level 1 and 2. So if I have time, I always, you know, do some kind of extension, an extension work where they've got the option of using the dictionaries or the app, and use some of the words we have seen, or other words, you know, like the word crowd and crowded, set off, squashed, get off, and they can just, you know, look them up and put them into sentences. So I've got this example of entry 2, but I'm happy if you want to join me again later to do another example of a higher level.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think we've it's saying to me time remaining is 10 minutes.
Right. Oh, 3 minutes.
3
2
minutes.
minutes,
Okay.
55 seconds.
Well,
I see
why
the
is it,
pin.
why does it say 10 now? Yeah. So I don't know, Slavomir, do you want to join again, or shall we?
Sure.
And basically we can just, you know, I'll just introduce the other the entry 3,
Okay.
and if you know, you can share with me what you do, and I'll post it later for people who.
Sure. I mean, if you want, I can also show you my
Yeah.
notes. So
Yeah, that's
what
good.
it looks like. What it looks like. Okay, so should I disconnect and connect again using the same link?
I think just let it disconnect by itself,
And
and it's the same link. We
the
just
same link.
log in again.
Sure.
Yeah, it's still telling me 10 minutes left.
No, but it's 2 minutes. But I think that, yeah, sometimes the counter it's just
Okay. Yeah.
it freezes, but yeah, it shows 1 minute 55 seconds.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So and you can, in the second part, you can give me your feedback. Yeah, and yeah, we'll see what to do.
Mhm.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, but it's funny because, you know, when you're a teacher, you're always on one side of being a teacher. You're not a learner, kind of. I mean, you learn as you teach, but, you know, I think it's a nice experience to be a student again from time to time as a teacher, you
Yeah.
know.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a funny experience. Yeah.
Okay. Can you see the time? Because
Yeah, 1 minute 5 seconds.
do you know what I've got here? I've got 40 minutes left.
It's
I think
weird.
my timing on my Zoom is quite wrong. Oh, no, now it's telling me 1 minute.
Less than a minute. Yeah, it says
Yeah.
less than a minute.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so
Because I don't know if I end it now, whether I'm able to join again or not. So
okay.
I would
Right.
rather leave it to end by itself.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's the weather like now in Poland?
I mean, like now it's fine.
Now.
It's kind of windy, but it's sunny. But
But it's pretty much the same as here, as in England. I'm in the
yeah.
south of
I
England.
mean, it's technically spring
Well,
still,
for us,
but
it's technically summer, but it's not.
yeah, exactly. But like 2 days or 3 days ago, it was cold. I was wearing my
Yes.
jacket,
Yeah.
and I don't like this kind of weather because the air pressure goes up and down, and
Yeah.
then you have a headache or something. And I don't like it.
Yeah. Okay.